I bet as a young child, you or your friends had scooters. Even now you see dads carrying them home after a day in the park. But you never thought that as an adult, a scooter may be your chosen way to get around and be a planet saver. Well, welcome to the fast-growing world of e-scooters, which are now becoming a reality for hire in over 400 cities around the globe. Thanks to tech developments such as better batteries and apps, e-scooters look set to dominate our urban transport infrastructure. So, an ideal subject for a Talking Tech episode. Come with me to meet the founder and MD of Irish company ZEUS Electric Scooters. Welcome, Damian Young.
Thank you very much, Malcolm. Thank you for having me.
It's great to be talking to you, and you're in Ireland at the moment, I just love Ireland, but never mind, we'll move on to the first question. Damian, before we metaphorically step on our scooters, tell me,
Sure.
What's different about ZEUS scooters? You have a unique proposition, don't you?
Yeah, so we are different. I've spent quite some time looking at this market around Europe, around the globe, and we set about designing the first shared three-wheeled scooter. And the reason why we went with three wheels is three things. One, stability. Two is safety. And the third then is smoothness. And because of the design, the wheels are larger, it's got the three wheels. The experience that we've received from our customers at this point has been tremendous because we are uniquely different. So we have a very different proposition to other players.
Excellent. So why are e-scooters becoming so on trend? What's attracting people to use them?
Well, it started, I suppose, a number of years ago, and it was a very trendy type of thing to do, but it's actually moving a little bit now to an acceptable form of transport in urban areas. So what we're seeing is the growth of electric scooters and other forms of what they call micro-mobility in Europe, now in the UK, across the globe. And really what it is the last mile transport. So when people take public transport, they get off the train, they may have 1 kilometer or 2 kilometers to get to their office. And electric scooters are the ideal way to do it. So it's not just becoming a trend, it's becoming a norm now. And we expect that this will grow over the next 10 years and actually dominate urban landscape.
Wow. Now, Zeus is a powerful name. After all, he was the Greek god with lightning bolts. But what sparked in your brain the idea for the business? When was that Eureka moment?
So the Eureka moment, Malcolm, I spent my life in corporates, I spent my life in banking, and I suppose as part of that, I was part of the rat race, stuck in traffic and congestion and poor air quality and so on. And when I used to travel abroad, it was the same in every city. And really, I traveled a little bit in Europe last summer, and I saw the first of these electric scooters in certain cities, and I thought, wow, this is something different. This is something that we need in Ireland, but this is also something most cities need. And as a result, I said, I want to be part of this. I want to be part of the revolution to reduce cars, reduce congestion, clean the air in cities, meet carbon emissions targets because everybody's behind in them. So that's why I set up ZEUS Scooters to tackle that part of the market.
Oh, excellent idea. Was it hard to bring your idea to reality? For instance, to capture politicians' imagination and allow you on the streets? Surely safety and multiple other challenges had to be overcome. But I believe you started in Heidelberg. So how did you achieve that?
Yeah, I mean, we've spent quite some time studying the market and building that proposition. We quickly moved away from the politicians in Ireland because legislation was going to be so slow, and we focused our attention on Germany. And I suppose the reason for Germany, threefold. One was they have very clear regulations and legislation around micromobility. So that was the first thing. The second thing is the market in Germany has matured quite a little bit because people are now more and more accustomed to micromobility and so on. And then the third reason was, as the Germans do, the standards are extremely high. And we had to go through 7 months of testing through the Federal Minister of Transport to get our scooter approved under what they call an AB license. And I'm really pleased to say that we're the first Irish company ever to receive an AB license for a vehicle in Germany. So that's why we tackled Germany. And Heidelberg, I suppose Heidelberg is a beautiful city. It's got good tourism, it's got good business, it's got good commercial. It's southerly, so the weather is a little bit nicer. And they were very welcoming of us in Heidelberg.
Excellent. Let's just stick with safety, though, for the moment, Damian,
Yeah.
please. I know you will have overcome many objections and built-in controls, so let's just reassure people now that the measures you've taken so we can move forward and soothe the doubters. What obstacles have you firmly overcome? How do you stop silly usage like we've seen recently here in the UK in the Tees Valley, where some teenage users went down an A road?
Yeah, so I suppose that's one of the reasons why legislation is important. In a lot of countries, they have released, I suppose, electric scooters without regulations or rules. And I suppose, authorities need some sort of teeth in terms of ensuring that people don't do these type of things. There's a number of areas. I mean, in Germany, the minimum age is 16, so people are a little bit more sensible. In the UK, they will be looking for driver's licenses to use electric scooters. We are very supportive of the use of helmets for electric scooters. And while they are not the legal obligation in certain countries, we do promote it. And we're actually working on some innovations around e-helmets, as they're called. We also, because of the technology in these scooters, we can restrict the speed of a scooter. So in the UK, the speed limit is 15.5 miles per hour. And as a result, our scooters cannot go faster than that. But even more so, we can adjust the speed in certain areas. So for example, if we have a high footfall area near a pedestrian area or something, we can change that so that the GPS coordination of that scooter knows that the rider is in that area, and we can reduce that speed down to 5 miles per hour or 10 miles per hour or whatever the case may be. So from a safety perspective, we've focused on speed and safety and so on. Our design, the electric scooter for ZEUS design, is specifically looking at safety. And the three wheels, what we've seen in the UK and in the US, is two-wheel scooters can slip, particularly in wet weather. And Malcolm, we get our fair share of wet weather.
Yes.
So the three-wheel has specifically been designed so it doesn't slip. So that is our number one focus, is safety of not just the user, but the people around them as well.
Now, that's very reassuring, Damian. Thank you for that. Now, is ZEUS scooter hire for everybody or principally for the young and confident?
Oh, absolutely not. And again, the design of our three-wheel scooter, we did some research on this, Malcolm. And, yes, most people who would use a scooter tend to be in the kind of 18 to 25, 26 bracket. So we went to a number of people of our vintage, let me call it that. And we found that in a choice between a two-wheel and a three-wheel scooter, more people of our age group will choose straight away the three-wheel scooter. So what I want to see from this globally, and not just from ZEUS scooters, is that this is a mode of transport for young, for old, for parents, for business people, and so on. And really, that's where this micromobility market should go.
Excellent. Okay, I'm sold. And I'm ready to be, I think what you call it, a ZEUSer. Take me through the process of hiring a ZEUS scooter, please.
Yeah, so we built the application software, so users can go into, or ZEUSers can go into the Google Play Store or the Apple Store and download ZEUS Scooters app. Now, the ZEUS Scooters app is like the remote control for the scooter itself. So they go along to the scooter. There's a QR code on the scooter. They scan the QR code in the app with their phone. And that unlocks the scooter, and then they go and ride. And what we charge is usually a per minute fee, so it's not how far you go, but it's how long you go for. And generally, for people going to meetings and so on, it's about 20% of a cost of a taxi.
Wow.
So there's some really, really big savings here, particularly for corporates and for individual business people to get from one place to another.
Okay, so where can we find one to hire? I know you're constantly growing, but where can my viewers and listeners experience ZEUS?
So ZEUS at the moment has launched in Heidelberg, as you say, in Germany. On Monday next, we are launching in the city of Ulm, also in Germany. And we have 8 further cities that we're expanding to in Germany. On the UK side, because legislation has only come through very recently, we're working with a number of the cities on tendering processes and so on. And we would really hope to be in a number of UK cities by the end of this year as well.
Excellent. Oh, well, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
What do you think will be the biggest challenge to increasing uptake and usage? After all, I'm not sure I will fancy a journey in a British winter, especially up here in Newcastle on Tyne. How do you plan to overcome such situations and firmly embed ZEUS usage in our transport culture?
Yeah, so one of the things that we're doing, which is a very innovative initiative in Germany, is we've actually teamed up with the local transport authority in Heidelberg. And what we do for their users who buy train tickets and bus tickets and so on, is they can then get off the train and use a ZEUS that's outside the train station as part of their fare, and they get a discount on it. So what we want to do is try to integrate with transport. Unfortunately, we can't control the weather. I'm working on another business to try to control the weather, but certainly, you know, what we've done is we've done lots of tests in rain and indeed, you know, inclement weather of sorts. Now, people will not want to maybe go on it in inclement weather, but then again, they won't want to cycle, they won't want to walk. But every day we see on our streets people who brave the bad weather, walking, cycling, and so on. And again, the design of our scooter is to ensure that maximum safety, even in bad weather.
Now, at Talking Tech, we're about the people behind the technology. So let's look at the purpose of your business. Put aside making money. What do you see as the true purpose, or the older word of mission, of ZEUS? How will you know when you are achieving your purpose?
I will know. I mean, and again, aside from any financials, what I'm really passionate about is to see this become the norm. The same way as you see people using bicycles and walking and so on. I want to see this in cities that scooters are part of the infrastructure of transport, are part of people's day-to-day lives. And I'll know that because, you know, when I start seeing different age groups and so on using the ZEUS scooters, that's when I'll see success. So you know, when people register, you know, we have the information on who they are and their age profile. And what I want to see is changes in those profiles over time. So I think that's going to be success. Obviously, the success as well is when we start seeing cities banning cars. And we've seen that in many European cities, that congestion has reached such a high level, they've decided that's it, we're banning cars. And, you know, it should be, you know, that over time that the use of e-scooters will allow that, you know, cars reduction in cities to be natural. And I think that we're going to see that. And that's what success looks like to me, Malcolm.
Okay, well, let's move from purpose to vision. Where do you see ZEUS scooters in 5 years' time? Your vision for the business. Are there extension possibilities such as light deliveries to businesses in city centres?
Yeah, we've got lots of ideas over the next number of years. So first steps first is we want to expand into Germany and into the UK and so on. And obviously expansion is one of the key things. We are not, we are market agnostic. So we're going to look at any market in any continent and build the business around that. You're right, we will probably diversify over time. So certain markets and certain cultures are a little bit different. So if you go to Asia, in places like, I was in Saigon recently, they have 9 million motorized mopeds with a population of 8 million. So, you know, there is a culture of mopeds there. But why can't they be electric mopeds? And, you know, so there's a lot of opportunities in the Asian market, indeed the African market, and so on. So our vision really is to work with countries and cities to contribute to the environmental reasoning behind what we're trying to do here.
Yeah, my vision was just going through there of the ZEUS tuk-tuk, but
ZEUS tuk-tuk.
Yeah, we'll leave that for another day. Okay,
electric tuk-tuk, I like it.
Yeah, Damian, it's 3 wishes time. If I were to give you 3 wishes for the future of e-scooters, what would they be?
One, I think, for governments to embrace this and to speed up their processes to ensure that these happen. The second one is, I suppose, for people to embrace this, to ensure that everyone has an opportunity to use one of these e-scooters. And 3 is that we see the world in it, that we go to different markets and work with different cultures and work on different opportunities to bring the ZEUS brand, whether it's tuk-tuks or something else, to those countries. They're my 3 wishes.
Yeah, I'll probably have a real vision later on of the ZEUS tuk-tuk as I'm having my evening curry, but never mind. Damian Young of ZEUS Scooters, I have thoroughly enjoyed finding out what you've been about, and I think it's extremely exciting, and thank you for this interview.
Thank you very much, Malcolm. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you.